Good afternoon from Okinawa, Japan on Oki CVs. Today we're going to be 6-speed swapping this GC8. And if you didn't know, there's 3 different ways you can go about it. We'll explain each one and we'll tell you why we decided on the method that we chose. Stay tuned.
Today, we have a beautiful Type RA STi V Limited. So if you are a purist, this video is not for you because we're swapping this bad boy with the 6-speed.
If you didn't know, they came with the 5-speed DCCD and we're going to be swapping in a 6-speed DCCD.
And this is actually the easiest GC8 to swap. This is a version 5 or 6. So it's got the EJ207, the GC8 version.
It's a non-AVCS model.
Non-AVCS setup. He said, I don't want to hear no engine sounds.
Yeah.
This hood actually used to be carbon fiber. It's got the big vents here.
Still carbon fiber, just painted. You can't see the black anymore.
And this right here, for the Subi waves.
So, we can going down the street.
If y'all didn't know, JDM Subi wave vent.
Fun fact too, these are only rated for 80 kilometers an hour. They will break this plastic little holder deal and it'll smack the top of your roof. So
it says it in Japanese, so we got a lot of American customers that like to drive on the expressway real fast, and next thing you know, this thing is...
They got a little dent right there on the top of the roof from this thing.
It's not a good thing to do on a car that they only made 2,000 of.
So stay tuned. In this video, we'll show you how to 6-speed swap your Type RA STi.
If you have one of the other 1,999 of them.
So when installing a 6-speed transmission into your GC8, a lot of people would ask, well, why? What's the benefits of a 6-speed transmission over a 5-speed transmission? There are a lot of reasons why you would want to put a 6-speed transmission into your car versus the 5-speed, and here are some of the reasons why. The 5-speed transmission is extremely lightweight, so if you wanted to have that power to weight ratio advantage in a race or whatnot, it's great for you. But when you start getting into power, the 5-speed isn't really able to help it. They call them glass 5-speeds, and so they break often. So the 6-speed transmission is known to be able to hold really good power, and that's one reason why people swap 6-speed transmissions into their car. Secondly, a reason to put a 6-speed transmission into your car would be for those here in Japan, you don't really run into the issue of needing to go really quick because the highest you can travel here, the fastest you can travel here is 80 kilometers an hour. Legally. But in America, people are contacting us pretty often asking for 6-speed transmissions because they get on the interstate going 75 miles an hour. That's like 100 kilometers an hour plus, and their RPMs are really high. It's just sucking gas. And it's not really good for your engine to be at such a high RPM for such a long time. So a 6-speed transmission, having that sixth gear and being geared a little higher allows you to just be in a lower RPM at a higher speed.
Did you know that in the JDM models, the 5 and 6 gears are different? You can fact check me on that one right there, but like the Foresters have 5, 6. So even in America, even the 6-speeds, the 5 and the 6 gears are a little bit longer. Versus the JDM ones for that same exact reason that he was just mentioning. But there's actually different gears inside the 6-speeds also. The Forester STi supposedly has that same gear ratio, except for it's a non-DCCD.
The Forester STi has the same gearing as a USDM.
USDM model,
so it's got a longer 5-6 gear.
Yeah, we'll add in a link that has all the different transmission numbers where you can actually see all the JDM and the USDM 6-speed and 5-speed models. We use it all the time to check final drives, so it's a great website to use.
So back to the 6-speed, back in America you have DCCD. It's not that you don't have DCCD. Here in Japan, when it came with the Bug-Eye was the first model that was introduced here in Japan with the 6-speed, and it came non-DCCD. This car being a Type RA STi, it came with the 5-speed DCCD, And so we chose to go with the early model Blah by STi. So this is out of a 2003 Blah by STi. So it came with DCCD, but it also came with the male-end stubs here. And so these male-end stubs allow us to use the female side of the axles. And if you know what I'm talking about, this is the male end. This is what it looks like, male to male. But on the 5-speeds, they have a female side, so it slides over this shaft and is held on by a pin. And so that's why this 6-speed is so convenient for us to use, is because we can use all the front axles with no issue. Also, this vehicle came with the R180 rear diff, and here you go, Kevin's showing us an axle right here. So this is the axle that these GC8s normally use, and Bug-Eye WRXs also. Their front axles are normally this way. It's not until the Blah-Bys that they, or the Foresters, they also have the male-to-male ends, but the
it's all one piece. Looks just like that. This is a rear, but that's actually a very good comparison. It looks more like this here, and you have to slide it into the transmission. And
so we chose to use this transmission because it's just so easy in the front. You don't have to do anything in the front except take the 5-speed out and slide the 5-speed axles right on top. 5-speed axles, we've never had an issue with the front axles ever breaking or needing any needing to be upgraded. The rear axles also, they're going to work because this car, like I mentioned, has an R180 rear diff in it. The final drive is different than the 6-speed. It comes with a 4.44. The one we're installing is a 3.9 final drive just to match the 6-speed transmission. But the rear is going to be plug and play as well. And that's why we're choosing this method with this car out of the 3 that I mentioned earlier, is because it's just so plug and play. But Kevin here has a different method that we could use. If you don't have a Type RA STi like we do to do the swap to, you can go this route.
Yeah, so because there's such a huge difference when it comes to the setups, right? You change your 6-speed and you use 6-speed drive shafts. They're a little bit longer, so you need the longer lateral links, the control arms. If you get those in the drive shaft, you need STi hubs. If you have STi rear hubs, you need STi Brembos, and it's just a big snowball effect, right? So it can cost a lot of money. But what we have done before for customers is we actually will go to Super Dave, his website. You can actually reach out to him, and you can get custom races. So this race is actually inside of this housing. And they have different amount of balls and teeth. So you have to count how many balls you have inside of here and how many teeth you have. You let him know which ones you have. And what he does is he'll send you these. He sends you the grease. He sends you the clamps, see what you need. And basically what you're doing is you're making a hybrid drive shaft. The end inside here, right, the actual R180 inner portion is longer than the R160 because obviously the R180 is a lot bigger than the R160. So what you're doing is you're using this portion of the R180 drive shaft and this portion of the R160, and you're combining the two. And what that allows you to do is install an R180 drive diff in your car, but still use your OEM hubs. And you don't have to do the Brembos and everything like that. So that's another option that you have. That side, the downside is you're messing with hybrid axles. So every time if you have any type of axle braking or anything like that, you're going to have to get another drive shaft. You have to buy 2 drive shafts. You have to buy a newer style. What we do is we use the 08 and up, like the GRB STi drive shafts, because they're a lot cheaper than the 02 to 07 setup. I think it's just because it's desirable. A lot of people are doing swaps, so they're just more expensive now. But yeah, we use the 08 and up ones with whatever drive shaft is originally in the car that we're doing a swap with. So we're just having to buy another set of drive shafts, which isn't too pricey if you go that route. Another option that we don't use too often, I actually think that it is something that is more available to you stateside guys, because there's an R160 that has a 3.9 final drive. You could use a 6-speed with the drive shaft, and then you keep an R160 in the rear end. Then you're gonna have a weak point. You're getting a 6-speed to be reliable, to hold power, but you're leaving an R160 inside the back. Especially with DCCD, when you can control the power to the rear, Depending on what model you have, this one right here, I believe it's 65% power in the rear. You add that much power going to the rear on a car that has a decent amount of power, your diff is going to start to fail. We've experienced that before too. So yeah, the other option is 6-speed drive shaft and an R160 with the proper final drive. So we've covered 6-speed in the RA, take out the R180, put in the proper R180. That's option 1. Option 2, you can use Custom Races by Super Dave and get custom drive shafts. That's the second option. And then the third option is our favorite, to be honest with you. If it wasn't for this car being an RA, that's usually what we've done. If you've checked out the 6-speed swap that we did on the SF5, and we also did a merge, we did that exact thing where we had the whole entire guts of an SG9 Forester STI, and we used everything. Front, rear subframes, lateral links, control arms, Brembos, everything, and we put that in the car. You use absolutely everything. And it's a lot more work, it's a lot more expensive, but you get about 10 millimeters each on both sides on your stance, so it handles a lot better, and everything is just, yeah, a full 6-speed setup. So that's kind of 4, right? But we say 3 because we don't recommend using an R160 rear end, right? So doing it this method, doing the custom races, or do everything. I guess the 4th one is the cheapest one by just getting an R160 and just swapping it out. Go big or go home, right? Do whatever you got to do to get an R180 in the back. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, so with everything, with Subarus, you have to remove the top mount intercooler and the downpipe. Because the transmission is coming down completely, we'll remove the complete exhaust as well. And then, yeah, the 5-speed will come out, and the rear diff will come out. We'll clean up this setup, and then we'll throw it in.
And how about clutches? That's a good topic. Clutches. What do you need? A 6-speed clutch if you're doing a 6-speed swap?
You don't. The 5-speed clutch will fit inside the bell housing of the 6-speed, and so you don't necessarily need to upgrade your clutch to a 6-speed clutch if you're doing the swap. So it's a way to save some money, especially if you have a stock engine that a 5-speed clutch can hold the power, that is able to hold the power. You don't need to upgrade the clutch. So that's one thing that you don't necessarily have to do. But this guy, the clutch is pretty aggressive, so we're going to upgrade the clutch as well while we're in here.
And that thing is not light. That 6-speed is not light. So if you are going to put in a 5-speed clutch and you plan on doing anything with the engine or doing any type of power mods, I would bite the bullet and do the clutch while you're doing the 6-speed swap. Obviously, because if you upgrade it later, you're going to have to remove the 6-speed again and replace the clutch. So although you can install the 5-speed clutch with the 6-speed, I would definitely try to do the 6-speed. And you just need a 6-speed flywheel, clutch, pressure plate, and the 6-speed starter. And you can easily put the 6-speed setup inside of there. So even the stock one too, if you find like a stock setup or anything like that. But the 5-speed will work too. We've done that with no issues also.
All right, let's get to work. 5-speed is out now. So this is the DCCD 5-speed. If you've never seen one, JDM, only comes to Japan. It has the driver control center diff. And you can see right off the bat the difference in size between the 5-speed and the 6-speed. Like I mentioned before, it has the male ends on it, so the drive shafts or the half shafts will slide right onto it, so nothing really needing to be done to modify the front of the vehicle. R180's got to come out still. We can show you a side-by-side comparison of that too. They're going to look exactly the same. Only difference is going to be one's a 3.9 and one's a 4.4 final drive, but you can't tell without taking off the covers or turning the drive shaft and counting numbers and all that kind of stuff, which takes too much time. One cool thing though about this, another thing that's going to make this really easy, is in the past, if you watched any of our videos when we're doing transmission swaps, is that you have to transfer over the speed sensor, but because this is a version 5.6, it shares the same speed sensor as the 6-speed, the RA STi. So works out really well. The speed sensor is right here on the DCCD setup, on the 5-speed setup, and then on the 6-speed it's right here in the front. Easily accessible, ready to go. And it's the exact same one. So yeah, we're going to remove the R180 out of this car and give you a comparison side by side. We'll start cleaning up this transmission. This customer also wants to have the undercoating put on the car, so we might not finish this video until tomorrow. It's pretty cold here in Okinawa, Japan right now, probably like 70 degrees, and so we'll it might take a little bit longer to dry. So once everything's dried, we'll untape everything and then put the 6-speed in. In the meantime, we'll be just prepping the engine bay, changing out the clutch, so on and so forth.
Now let's check it out. Right there. 40:9. Check it out. There's a 40:9. 40 divided by 9 equals, and that's where you get the final drive. 4.44 is this final drive. So there's usually two numbers, one number colon and another number. You just divide and you'll get the final drive. The number, can you see it? 40:9. They all have them, just a different number. Yep, R180. It's a two-way LSD. It's clutch style, so that's pretty cool. Some of the Japanese guys, I'm sure Americans and other people do it too in other countries, but in Japan, here locally, only the locals are doing it. For Gymkhana, they'll take the 6-speed and they'll change the front final drive, and they'll get one of these and they'll have a 4.44 final drive, a quicker response, quicker acceleration for Gymkhana. It's a lot of money. We wanted to try it out, so we did it the poor man's way, and we put this exact setup in here, a 5-speed. 4.44 final drive, and that thing rips. It was lighter and it was quicker on the gears. That was fun. Did it to my old GC8. Legacy engine inside of a GC8 with 4.44 final drive for Gymkhana front and rear LSD. That was fun.
All right, just like stated, the 6-speed is in, and because this is a DCCD 6-speed, just like the 5-speed that was DCCD, everything is plug and play. So all this is the wiring from the body of the car, the body harness, and it's plugging directly in to the actual DCCD 6-speed with nothing having to be modified or changed. The speed sensor too, it has a little adapter that comes off of it that plugs right into the body harness, but that is still the bug eye, blob eye, version 7 and newer speed sensor, plugging directly into the actual body harness of the GC8. Really cool stuff. Helps out a lot.
So you can see the drive shafts here and the pin right there. And there was nothing that we had to do for the drive shafts. We just literally using the OEM GC8 drive shafts and putting the pin in those male pieces that we showed you before. A lot easier than having to change out the drive shafts, because the male style drive shafts, when you get those, they're a little bit longer than the GC8 ones, which means you end up having to do the control arms to do it properly. You probably could fit it without doing the control arms also, but the drive shafts are definitely longer by about 10 millimeters, and then so are the control arms. And if you do the front, then obviously the back, and it just goes into that snowball effect we were talking about.
Shifter going into the interior. So with a 5-speed transmission, it's just a straight rod that has the shift knob at the top, and so this is the stock boot here. For the 6 speeds, it has the 6-gear release on it, and the way that's designed, you need to have this style boot to make it look nice. I'm sure you could do something. People probably taking stuff apart, but it's made so it can unbutton, go around it, button again, gives that clean look. We're going to be removing it from the back side of this boot, installing on this one so that it looks factory. I hope you enjoyed this video of how we 6-speed swap this Type RA STi. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. And if you've 6-speed swapped your vehicle and you have a tip or a trick for us, please share it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.